Welcome to Year 10 Pre-Methods. I'm Miss Mims. It's been an unusual year and it is strange to meet a new class for the first time online. Now I can see that I do know some of you because I either taught you in Year 9 or in first semester. I'll have to get to know the rest of you as best I can. This is a format I like for remote learning. I pre-record my lessons as a video for you to watch at your own pace. I find this works better than class calls. Then you can submit the work to me via my Panola, which is a process you're all familiar with. These are my expectations. The workload itself is a step up from last semester. The concepts are challenging in that you haven't seen some of them before, so make sure you stay on top of set work. The first topic is actually really important for selection into Year 11 methods next year. The next point is just letting you know I'm a big fan of emailing and calling parents regarding homework, etc. The last thing is something that I'm going to be following up with each of you individually. You must have a CAS calculator for this subject. This is our first topic, quadratic functions. Can you please copy that into your workbook? Notes will need to be taken throughout this video. For today's lesson, rather than starting with lesson 1 of the planning document, we will do a recap of factorising. It's really important that you guys know how to factorise using the different methods before we start lesson 1 tomorrow. So today I'll need you guys to complete a worksheet instead. By the way, this planning document can be found on my Panola. Common factors is the first method of factorising we will look at. A common factor is something that is in both terms, like a letter or a number. We take out these common factors and put them out the front of our brackets. Let's look at this example here. So x is not common in both of these terms, but the number 2 is. It goes into both 2 and 10. So I take it out, then I open up my brackets. Now I think 2 needs to be multiplied by what to give 2x? 2 times x will give me 2x. And 2 needs to be multiplied by what to give 10? 2 times 5. I'll show you another example. So we have 3x plus 15. So I'm looking for something common in both of these terms. Well, the number 3 goes into both. So I take this out. Then 3 needs to be multiplied by what to give 3x? 3x. Then 3 needs to be multiplied by what to give 15? 3 times 5. All right, this next example here, I'm looking for my common factors. This one, there are no numbers that are common in both, but the letter X is in both terms. So I take it out, then do the same, open up my bracket. Now I think X needs to be multiplied by what to give X squared? X times X is X squared. Then X needs to be multiplied by what to give 6X? X times 6. And last one, if I have 4x squared plus 8x, here the number 4 is common. But if you have a look, also x is common. So I'm going to take out both 4x. Open up my bracket. 4x needs to be multiplied by what to give 4x squared? 4x times x. And then 4x needs to be multiplied by 2 to give 8x. Our next method is DOPS, or difference of perfect squares. This is for when we've got two perfect squares and there's a difference between them, or a subtract sign. So our rule is we find the square root of each of them, put them in the brackets. One's got a positive sign and one's got a negative sign. So if we look at our first example here, I need to find the square root of each of these terms. So the square root of x squared is x, and the square root of 25 is 5. So I put them in my brackets. One's a positive bracket and one's a negative. Next example, x squared minus 49. So the square root of x squared is x, and the square root of 49 is 7. So I'll have plus 7 and minus 7. And last one here, x squared minus 11. All right, so square root of x squared is x. Now 11 doesn't have, it's not a perfect square number. So for this one here, we can just write square root 11. It's more accurate than writing out a decimal from your calculator, minus square root 11. The last method is factorising quadratics. You might remember this from last semester. You need to find two numbers that multiply to give the end number and add to give the middle number. So if we look at this example here, I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to equal 15 but add to equal 8. So if I think of the numbers that multiply to give 15, I've got 3 times 5. And if I add them, 3 plus 5, yep, that equals 8. They're my two numbers. So I put them in the brackets after the x's. So x plus 3, x plus 5. All right, next example, x squared plus 9x plus 20. So let's think what numbers can multiply to 20. I could have 2 times 10, that equals 20. But if I do 2 plus 10, that equals 12. I actually need it to equal 9. So let's try something else. Another number combo that could equal 20 is 4 times 5 equals 20. And 4 plus 5, yep, that equals 9. They're my two numbers. So I just put them in the brackets after the x's. X plus 4, x plus 5. Last one, x squared plus 6x minus 7. So I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to give negative 7 and add to give 6. So to get negative 7, I could have negative 1 times 7 equals negative 7, and negative 1 plus 7. Yep, that equals 6. So they're my numbers. So I put them in after the brackets. So x minus 1, x plus 7. If you have something you're not sure how to factorise, use your CAS calculator. It can factorise everything. I'll show you an example. So on your CAS, select the calculate button. Then we go menu, algebra, factor. Then I'm going to type in x squared plus 7x plus 12. And then I'm going to click enter, and there it's factorised it for me. So those steps are menu, algebra, factor. Type it in, then press enter. Make sure all notes are copied into your workbook. Now I would like you to do the worksheet. Ask any questions in the social stream.